If you want to make real money on YouTube, you've probably been told the same thing I was. Just get views, go viral, and the money shows up. That's backwards. I made $106,000 in my first year of actually earning money on this channel, and not one video on it went viral. Most of it didn't even come from YouTube paying me. It came from 4 income streams stacked on top of each other, and the one that paid the most was the one that I built last. I'm going to show you my real numbers in the order that they came in so you can see where you are and what's normal. Now, I want to be straight with you about that number, because a year sounds fast, and it wasn't. This isn't my first year on YouTube, or my first YouTube channel. But even just on this channel, I had posted in 3 different niches, quit for over a year, and then spent 5 months building before I made a single dollar. That 106K is a year from the day I started making money on this channel. So this wasn't luck, and it isn't overnight. It's 12 months where a bunch of small things started to stack to become something bigger than the sum of their parts. And if I can do it, you can do it. I'm going to show you how. The money on YouTube isn't one thing, it's 4. AdSense, sponsorships, affiliates, and your own offer. Most creators don't understand the first one, AdSense. They wait for it to grow into a living. It won't, at least not without winning the viral lottery. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because the money the platform pays you was never going to be your paycheck. Here's how I want you to picture it. The first 3 streams are a runway. They're the money that keeps you alive and buys you time. And then the 4th one is the plane. It's the only stream that's actually fully yours, and it's the one that actually takes off. You spend the early part of your journey building speed on the runway, so that one day, the thing that you own can leave the ground. I call it the runway and the destination. 3 streams of runway, 1 destination. One quick note before we start. This is the path for educational channels, people who teach something or solve a problem for somebody. If you run an entertainment channel, your path looks a little different, and I'll point it out as we go. There are other ways to make money too. Memberships, digital products, live workshops, royalties. But these 4 are the pillars, and they're where almost all of my income came from. We'll start at the bottom, AdSense. It's the one that everybody knows, and for most creators, it's the first money YouTube ever sends them. So almost everyone makes the same bet. You figure if you can just get your views up, AdSense will grow into a living. That's not how this works. AdSense is the money that YouTube pays you for the ads on your videos, and I call it the floor for a reason. It's the bottom of the whole thing, and it's the part that you control the least. Here's what most people get wrong about it. They think you post videos and YouTube pays you, and that's the business. If only it were that easy. Let me put it this way. You can pull hundreds of thousands of views and still not make a living from AdSense. In a lot of niches, hundreds of thousands of views is a few $100. I learned this the slow way. I actually got monetized after I had quit making videos. An old board game video of mine took off and monetized my channel overnight. Then I made about $50 a month for a long time, until the video that kickstarted this whole channel finally took off at the end of last March. The $50 was nice, but I knew it was never going to be the thing. Here's how little control you really have. I have a video with 200,000 fewer views that made me more money than the bigger one. 2,353 against 1,517. Same channel, fewer views, but more money. Because AdSense barely depends on how many views you get. Depends on who's watching. One of my videos pays about $3 per 1,000 views, and another pays over 8. More than double on the same channel on the same topic. And your rate fluctuates video to video. So across the whole year, my AdSense was basically flat. It ticked up a little in December and January because of the holidays, and then dropped right back down in February. I spent that entire time trying to make better and better videos, and it didn't change a thing. That's why this is the floor. It's real money, and I'll never turn it down, but you can't grow it on command, and you can't build a business on it. So if you're staring at a tiny AdSense number right now, or you're not even monetized yet, nothing's wrong with you. That's just where the floor sits for almost everyone. It's the first thing to show up, and it's the last thing you should count on. The second stream is one that a lot of people are quietly scared of. Sponsorships. You picture some cutthroat negotiation where you fight for every dollar and you still come out the loser. And that's exactly what I figured too. This builds the runway, the money that gives you the room to take off. A sponsorship is simple. Once people are watching you, somebody out there has a product that they want to put in front of those same people, so they pay you to put it in front of them. I'm the kind of person who researches everything to death, so I studied up, I prepared for battle, I got on my first call, and I completely overprepared. It's just a conversation. They're a person with a job, you're a person with a job, you're both trying to help each other out. They want to grow their business, you can help them do that. That's the whole thing. Adding this one stream more than doubled what I was making from YouTube. It wasn't instant. It takes time for those conversations to happen, for the deal to come together, for you to make the content and send the invoice. But about 3 months of it was enough to replace my part-time job. That was the entire goal, so starting sooner with that mattered to me. Sponsorships ended up being over a quarter of my whole year. Here's a lesson that I didn't see coming. It's not about squeezing the most money out of every single deal. I took low offers at the start, 200 to 400, just to learn the process, because the real money in sponsorships comes from the relationship. They want someone consistent and stable that they can work with again and again. One good long-term partner beats constantly hunting for the next one. So when does this turn into something you can do? You need traction first. You'll spend a long stretch under 100 views, and then one video takes off, and YouTube finally figures out who to show your stuff to. That's the switch. Once that flips, sponsors start finding you. You can go do cold outreach by hunting around on LinkedIn, but for most creators, that's a complete waste of energy. There are higher leverage things to build, and nobody's going to be paying you much until you've got views, because the views are the whole thing they want from you. So I let it all come to me. If sponsors aren't finding you yet, you're not behind, you're just early. This is also where an entertainment channel can really clean up, because more views means a higher rate. A creator getting 1,000 views on a video might make a couple $100s on a deal. A creator getting hundreds of thousands of views can make more from one deal than a small channel does all year with AdSense. But there's a point where sponsorships stop making sense for an educational channel. And hold on to that because it's the biggest lesson of this whole video. And I'm coming back to it after we talk about the third stream, which is the one that sounds like a dream. Affiliates, passive income, money coming in while you sleep, a link doing all the work for you. And that's not a pipe dream, but it's just a lot smaller and a lot slower than people think. I call this one the trickle because it starts at almost nothing and builds slowly. An affiliate deal is close to a sponsorship, except instead of a flat fee, you get a cut of everyone who makes a purchase through your link. There's a passive piece to it, and I've built mine so that it is actually passive, but it took a long time to build up. The bigger mistake is pretty dangerous. Some people want to build their whole business around affiliates. Don't. You don't control the rates. The company can cut them whenever they want. Amazon cut their commissions in half a few years back, and you're fighting a flood of AI-generated top 10 lists for the same clicks. The days of a pure affiliate channel are over. This is a side stream, not a foundation. So here's what actually matters. If you're making $5 a sign up, that adds up to a little. It's not nothing, but a little. So the affiliates that actually pay are the ones that give you a percentage, especially on something with a subscription or a higher price. The best one I had was a single link sitting in my video descriptions. I made a recurring cut on everyone who signed up and stayed subscribed. A trickle at first, and then a little more every month as more and more people signed up until it leveled off. So in the early months, expect a few bucks. That's normal. It compounds from there. By the back half of the year, that one link was putting an extra $1,000 into my bank account every month for doing nothing. That's pretty nice. Across the whole year, affiliates were my smallest pillar, about 13%. They quietly covered the cost of my tools and software, and eventually grew into something that mattered. But notice the shape. It's slow. It depends entirely on your niche, and you don't really control it. A nice trickle on top of everything else. Never the thing holding the whole business up. Which brings me to the fourth stream, and the reason for this whole video. Your own offer. This is the destination. This is the plane that takes off. Remember what I asked you to hold on to? Here it is. When I do a sponsorship, I get somebody else a pile of customers. One of my ad reads might send a brand 10 to 15 signups. And that's real value that they pay me for. But here's what hit me. If I take that same audience and point them at my own thing, a single signup of mine is worth more than everything that brand pays me for the 10 to 15 I sent to theirs. So why am I spending my best moments selling someone else's product when I could be selling my own? That's the shift, paying yourself instead. You stop being the middleman who moves customers to somebody else, and you point that same audience at your own thing. Now, the thing that stops most people here isn't strategy, it's mental. Most people feel like they aren't worth it. Who am I to charge someone? Why would anybody pay me to help them? I felt exactly that. I'd heard all the advice, done all the research, and I still almost didn't start. So let me tell you how I actually built it, because I did it in 3 steps, in a specific order, and the order is that important lesson. It started with coaching. 1 person, 1 hour, me helping them with their channel. I charged $50 for the first one. I priced it dirt cheap on purpose, because I wasn't trying to make money, I was trying to get the reps and to gain testimonials. It was an offer so good it was silly to say no, and it worked. So I bumped it to 100, then 200, then 3. Starting cheap paid off fast. Those early sessions gave me the experience and the testimonials that made everything after them significantly more effective. And there was a neat side effect about myself that I didn't expect. Talking to strangers on a video call terrified me. I'm an introvert. Being around people normally drains me, and then I need to go home and recharge. But getting on a call with some other creator and helping them figure out their channel, I love it. I could do it all day. It energizes me, which still feels really weird to say out loud because it's backwards from what I expected. So if that part scares you, it scared me too, and it turned into my favorite part of the whole thing. After 40-something of those calls, bumping my prices every 10 or so, I noticed a pattern. People would have one great conversation with me, feel fired up, and then go off to do their own thing. They'd lose all of their steam the second they were on their own again. So I built my first offer around helping people for more than a moment. It was a group program, and I ran it like a college course. Then at the end of that, the members in the group told me the most valuable part was the time that they worked directly with me. So next, I built an offer that was me working one-on-one with a creator for a long period of time. It was for the few who wanted that depth, but then I noticed something else. I love the one-on-one work, but I can only handle so many people at a time. It takes everything I've got to give somebody my undivided attention for 6 months. But just about everyone who reached out with an application weren't at the right spot in their journey to justify such a big purchase. So we come full circle. I've remade my group program from the ground up, even better than before, because of the lessons I learned from the first two. Every step came from listening to the one before it. The point for you is this: if you teach something or solve a problem for somebody, start with coaching. It's the fastest way to get the practice and the proof you need, and everything else gets built on top of it. So how does all of this fit together? It's a really simple funnel, and simple is the point. YouTube is the discovery engine that brings people in. Then you build a lead magnet, which is just something your audience will go out of their way to grab and willingly hand you their email for. For me, that's my free newsletter and my new Chrome extension or plugin or whatever you want to call it. The third piece is your relationship platform and how you reach them. For me, that's my email list. That relationship is what you build over time. And then the offer comes last. The order matters here. Get your lead magnet and your email list in place early, before any video of yours takes off. Because when one finally does, you want something there to catch all of those people. If you wait, you'll miss a really big opportunity. Then you just focus on getting good at YouTube. The whole funnel runs on traffic. Nothing else matters until people know you exist. Then after you have traffic, you can worry about your offer. It comes last on purpose. You don't even know what to sell yet. You figure that out by building an audience and asking them. I validated my first program before I built it. I talked to the people on those coaching calls, and I put up a wait list to see if anybody actually wanted it. I didn't pick a launch date and hope. I didn't build something for months before telling anybody about it. I launched when people had already told me that they were in. And honestly, I could probably make 3 times what I make now without changing a single thing about this funnel. I like keeping it simple. As you grow, you want 3 kinds of offers, and they climb in price and effort. A low-ticket thing, usually a digital product that you build once and sell over time. Careful here, because if you're trading your time for a low price, you're underselling yourself. A mid-ticket thing that has to be able to scale, so it doesn't eat all of your time, and a high-ticket thing that's custom with your full attention. You need to pick and choose your battles, though. I'm more than a year in, and I still haven't built a low-ticket offer or product. And here's the biggest mistake that you can make. Do not hold your best information back for the people who pay. Don't hoard it. Give it all away, right here, for free. Because information isn't the product anymore. All of the answers are already out there. People aren't paying for what you know. They're paying for you. They've watched you. They trust you. They want your help specifically. You are the product. That's the whole game. And that's exactly why I built my newest program. If you've been watching me for a while and you think that I could help you with your channel, here's your sign to start taking things seriously. In a couple of weeks, I'm reopening the Founders Edition of my Boundless Creator Program. That's just a fancy way of saying I'm making it really cheap because I need some guinea pigs. If you want to get out on the ground floor and help me to build bigger and better tools for creators, I'd love for you to try them first. You get a private community where you can ask me any question any time of the day. I'm in there every day looking for ways to help you. And there's one thing that I'm doing special that's only for the founders. A personal review of your channel. I'll sit down, I'll look over what you got, and make a video just for you. What I'm seeing, where your bottlenecks are, what to pay attention to and what to ignore, what you're already doing well, and what you should do next for the goals you've set. If you want to surround yourself with a group of people who get it, there's a link to join the waitlist in the description, and I'll let you know the moment it opens. 50% off, and it locks in for as long as you stay. And one more thing that I want to mention because I don't say it often enough, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Tell me inside the first 30 days that this wasn't what you expected, or it's not working, or life just got busy, and I'll refund every penny. No questions asked. So that's the destination. By the end of this year, that 4th stream, my own offers, had quietly become almost half of everything I made. So step back and look at the whole thing. On its own, none of these 4 are a business. AdSense is a few $100. Sponsorships come and go. Affiliates trickle. And your own offer starts at almost nothing. But you don't run them on their own. You stack them, and they feed each other. The people who watch your videos are the same people who a sponsor pays to reach. The same people who click your affiliate link. The same people who buy your offer. Each stream makes the next one possible. They build to be greater than the sum of their parts. And honestly, that's the part that surprised me. This was the plan the whole time, and I still didn't see this coming. I sat down to add it all up, and I just went, well, damn, that came together fast. Every stream felt small while it was happening, but together, they turned into a 6-figure business in my first year. Let me put that into perspective, because the number doesn't mean much without it. For 10 years before this, I lived paycheck to paycheck. There were stretches when I had no emergency fund at all. If my car had broken down, I wouldn't have been able to fix it. When this started to work, my rule for quitting was pretty simple. Just make double what the job paid for 3 months in a row. And I quickly realized that I had nothing to worry about after the first month. I made myself wait out those other 2 anyway, and after just 3 months, I was able to purchase the nicest vehicle I've ever owned. Nothing fancy, just a reliable SUV. But 6 months earlier, that would have been impossible. All in, I made close to 3 times my old salary in a single year. But 2 honest notes on that number, though. That's before taxes. I had heard the horror stories, so I set aside 50% of everything I made from day one, and that was aggressive, but that meant that when tax time came, I was able to pay a CPA and cover the bill without panic. For where I lived, that was about 25% of what I earned. And every single dollar of this happened without a single viral video. No lucky breakout that fixed everything. Just 4 ordinary streams stacked on an audience that I built consistently, 1 video at a time. If I'm being honest, looking back, there's almost nothing I'd change. I'm happy how things went. The order was right, the timing was right, and I had to learn each lesson before I was ready for the next one. I treat everything like an experiment, which makes it easy to try things, keep what works, and drop what doesn't. That's how I found out that I can't stand sales calls. I hate them. I'm too honest, and I undercut myself at every turn. But I only know that because I tried it and took it seriously. There is one thing that I would change. I'd have gone all in sooner. Not the videos, I was already making those. I mean betting on myself, treating this like a real business and building something that was mine. I sat on this for years. I told myself I needed the perfect plan, the perfect setup, the perfect first video. I let perfectionism paralyze me. And the truth that I had to swallow is that this last year has been, I can't think of a better year in my entire life. And I'd had it sooner if I'd just gotten out of my own way. If you're already making videos and putting in the reps, you've gotten started, the next move is going all in, treating this like a real business and building the part that pays you before you feel ready. You'll never feel ready. I wasn't. Build it anyways. You learn by doing. So that's the realistic look at how to make $106K in a year without going viral. AdSense is the floor, the money the platform hands you that you can't control. Sponsorships build a runway that buys you time. Affiliates are the trickle on top, and your own offer is the destination, the one that's actually yours, the one that becomes the majority once you give it time to take off. 3 streams of runway, 1 destination. That's where you stop being the middleman and you pay yourself instead. You don't need a viral hit. You need an audience that you own with a simple funnel and 4 streams stacked on top. There's one really important part that I touched on in this video, and I wonder if you missed it. None of this matters if you can't make good enough content. Everything we just covered runs on people actually wanting to watch. So if you want to learn how to do that, I put my whole system into one video. A complete picture of how to grow a channel start to finish. It's the deepest thing I've ever made. Go watch that one next. You won't regret it.